Hello everybody, welcome back to more political chatter. We are doing another 2024 election prediction. This time it's between Joe Biden, the incumbent president who is hugely popular, versus Donald Trump, the former president who is also hugely popular. The government's approval rating is skyrocketing. Congress has the highest approval rating since ever, with a 95% approval rating, and the government is getting Congress is getting so well along. Biden and Trump have now announced that they went golfing together a few days ago. They're actual friends, and everyone is getting along, and the country is so great right now. And let's see how we do this election prediction. It's going to be very interesting. They're not going to campaign negatively against each other because they are besties, they're best friends. But anyway, let's get into this. So, Trump is really going to not really get most of that white working class voters that won him the election in 2016 back. Biden, with his high approval rating, really will hold on to that. Remember, Trump is also very popular, but what we have to remember is that was 2016, and then the white working class moved back to Biden in 2020. So we'll get to that more. But starting in the Northeast, Maine, I really see Maine's 2nd district really staying with the Republican Party. I really think this will be a close race. This will be decided by a lean margin. And then going to Maine's 1st district, this will be a bit closer. That's going to be a tilt margin here. But, very moderate state where they're going to want to change, a change of the system. And that means, changing the presidency. So, and then that means Maine at large will be lean Biden. And then going on to New Hampshire, another state very similar to Maine, but with the leadership of Chris Sununu, who's such a very popular governor, that's going to be safe red, no doubt in my mind. And then going to Massachusetts, it's going to be likely because there are a lot of Democrats here. But what we have to remember is that they have a highly popular Republican governor, Charlie Baker, who will be retired by 2024, but still will campaign for Trump, and they're really going to want that. And then Trump is going to win much of these wealthy voters, right? That's what we have to remember. That means states like Connecticut will be decided by a lean margin, and that will go to Trump. That means states like Rhode Island will be safe Republican. Definitely a state that is shifting to the right. Vermont, not so much. There's a lot of Democrats. You might disagree with me here, but I think that's going to be likely Biden. Going on to the state of New York, definitely more of a working class state. I think that Biden will be able to hang on to the state. It'll probably be a lean margin. And then going down to New Jersey, definitely a Trump state that Trump will be able to hang on to once again. Really, I see that being safe. I don't see much of competition here. But going to Biden's home state, Delaware, that's going to be safe. And then going to Maryland, there's just too many Democrats that will be a likely win for Joe Biden. So we are tied 44-44. DC will be incredibly close, as it always is. But what we have to keep in mind is that Biden lives in Washington. So, those 2 extra votes that he has in Washington from people, see him walking around. A lot of people will remember Trump living in Washington, but ultimately Biden being the incumbent in Washington will help him a lot. And then, Washington, D.C. is right next to Virginia. So definitely Biden will have the narrow edge here. That'll be a lean margin. And then it's also New West Virginia. But what we have to remember is that West Virginia used to be part of Virginia. There used to be one Virginia. So, that's going to probably be the same as Virginia. I'd say that's going to be a lean margin win for the president. And then moving on to the state of, let's go to Pennsylvania. They're definitely a state that's going to want to change from the system right now. Is change from Biden. Definitely a state that doesn't approve of the president somehow, as other states do, like New York, like Virginia, like Maryland, like Delaware. So I see this as a Trump state. I think that this will be a very narrow win. Definitely decided by tilt margin, but I think that Trump just might have the edge in the state of Pennsylvania. And then going to Ohio, he won big here in 2020. It was really his prize in 2020, and Florida was his prize also, you could say. But, Biden, I see, being more popular with the white working class. They're going to feel like he has paid them back because many of them did vote for him, not necessarily in Ohio, but many of them, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, voted for him in 2020. And with his surging popularity, he's going to feel like he has paid them back. So Ohio, lean margin win for Biden here. Again, Biden leads in the electoral votes, but very narrow wins in all these states. Will he win the popular vote? Well, let's see later on. And then going down to North Carolina, minorities are shifting to the right. Hillary Clinton won all minorities larger than Joe Biden did in 2020. The turnout among minorities was much bigger for Hillary Clinton than it was for Joe Biden. Look at the Guam election. It was safe blue, and then I believe it was lean blue. I mean, it might have been likely, and then it was lean. But anyway, so Trump, I definitely see you taking back the South. We'll get to Texas, though, because Texas is a little different. So states like Florida, safe red. Georgia, probably safe red. South Carolina, definitely safe red. Tennessee, definitely safe red. And then going to the rest of these southern states, these are going to be a bit harder because in states like Texas, and states like Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Alabama, and Tennessee, there is a large white voting bloc. And many of those will go to Joe Biden as they switch to in 2020. I do think that the state of Texas will be decided by tilt margin. I think that will be tilt Biden. And then going to a state like Alabama, where in 2017 they elected a Democratic governor, I think that that's going to be likely blue. Going up to Arkansas, the former or the home state of former President Bill Clinton, that's going to be safe. He's going to campaign for Biden like crazy. But going to Louisiana, going to Mississippi, going to Tennessee, going to Kentucky, I just don't see it here. I think Louisiana will be lean, Tennessee will be lean, and Mississippi and Kentucky will be likely. I don't see the Democrats having much of a path here to win these states. And then, the minorities thing again, Hawaii, Asian Americans shifted to the right in 2020. Hawaii will be safe red. And then, anyway. Moving on to the state of Alaska, this will probably stay in the Republican column by lean margin. I just see too many Republicans here. And then states like Missouri, those will, probably go to Donald Trump. I see a very narrow win in many of these states. But going to the Rust Belt, this is blue. This is all blue. I see Indiana being likely. I see Illinois being probably lean. Definitely a state that's shifting to the right. Going to Iowa, that's going to be likely Biden. Going to Minnesota, definitely a very close state here. I'm going to narrowly give it to Trump. I just see him turning out a lot of people in the state of Minnesota. And then going to Michigan, definitely a safe state. Going to Wisconsin, probably a likely state, if not safe. So, moving on to the Midwest. Midwest is going to be pretty split. States like Montana and Utah are going to go with the obvious choice. Kansas, too. They're going to go with the obvious choice. More of the common sense choice, as I call it. All right. These are moderate states that never really liked Trump, voted for him, so they didn't vote for Hillary, So I think that these three would go to Joe Biden, Montana lean, Utah likely, Kansas safe. And then, but, going to states like Idaho, I think that this will be very tough to flip, but definitely more of a moderate state. I'll give it lean Trump. Going to Wyoming, very, very close. Probably tilt Trump, I would say. I think he's just narrowly going to have the edge here. But going up to North Dakota, definitely a state where Biden could connect to this white working class. I would make it a likely win for him here. And then going to Nebraska, 2nd District, definitely shifting to the right. Safe red. And then the rest of Nebraska, I'd say Nebraska's first would probably go blue by a lean margin, as it does in many years. But Nebraska's third, probably too much. That will be tilt red. Then that means Nebraska at large will be likely. Okay. Moving on to South Dakota, that'll stay red. Safe red. I don't see any doubt in my mind. Then going to Oklahoma, it's right near Texas, and they want, they're just a wannabe Texas. And since Texas is going blue, shifting blue, that will also go blue. That'll also be a tilt state. And then going to New Mexico and Colorado, Colorado is Michael Bennett, so it's going to be pretty, that's going to be safe blue. But really, you don't see much support for Joe Biden in the rest of the Southwest. You don't have people like Michael Bennett, So New Mexico, I think, will go likely red. I think that state of Arizona will go probably safe red, I would say. And then going to Nevada, that'll be a safe red state too. The Democrats don't have any substance here. They don't have anything to run a campaign on in the rest of the Southwest. And then going to California, Oregon, and Washington, minorities are going to turn out like crazy for Donald Trump in the state of California. Like many years, I think that this will be a very close state. I think it'll be decided by a lean margin. But ultimately, I think that Trump will come out on top here. And look at that. He's been elected the president. But going to more Democratic states, such as Oregon and Washington, I think that these will stay with the Democrats. So, Donald Trump wins the presidency, beats his friend, Byron, wins the presidency with 284 electoral votes to Joe Biden's 254. Wow, what an election. So, thank you all for watching. Subscribe for more. And happy April Fool's Day. Ha ha ha.